A very good morning, Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa in Beyond the Television Network. And ZANU PF, they are trying by all means possible to appease the people, despite failure to actually rein in the economy and provide the basic needs of the people of the Republic. So, led by Taurai Kandishaya is a program called Politics Mubhazi, where they are going to be providing free transport in Mubhazi. I think they're starting with Murewa. They will provide a free bus. It's 3 days to go, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see this happening. But the biggest question which we have is, what is going to be changed by this initiative? Knowing ZANU PF, we know that they are not capable. They cannot bring anything better to the people of Zimbabwe. So what is happening is the bus will be traveling at 50 kilometers per hour, and they are going to have in-bus discussions. The guest will be Munashem Tuta. Okay, we need to look at the effect of this new program, which is being introduced by ZANU PF, and understand Chimborichi program, Jagaita say, what are the benefits and what is this going to change economically? So we are looking at the Zimbabwe's political future. It can't be shaped by slogans. It must be shaped by something which is tangible, something which is more structural. So ZANU PF, it's trying to survive, but will their survival be possible, given that the economy is moving in a different direction? ZANU PF, the politics is moving in a different direction. Will ZANU PF survive? Are they appealing enough to the people to guarantee their survival? So we are looking at key determinants of ZANU PF survival, and at the end of this video, we must be able to tell if ZANU PF will survive. So these programs that Chukwonamatirana, in my own view, they do not contribute to the survival of ZANU PF. Why? It's because the key determinant of ZANU PF survival is the economy. How is the economy performing? That is the most decisive factor. So it matters the most because legitimacy follows the economy. Is this government legit? If you want to see the legitimacy of the government, look at the economy, because wherever there is legitimacy, the economy becomes positive. So when you are seeing livelihoods collapsing, you are seeing, the future being oblique and uncertain. One thing is actually certain, that there is no survival for ZANU PF. So look at what is happening. Currently, there is inflation, which is so persistent. There is currency instability. I want to show one thing. There is a currency called ZIG. You go to Harare, ZIG is dominant. ZIG is working, but not 100%. US dollars, rands, tulas, they also work in Harare. You go to Bulawayo, Pula is topping, USD is topping, rand is topping. Where is the Zimbabwean dollar? Nowhere to be found. You go to Bedbridge, there is no ZIG to talk about. You go to the entire Masvingo province, there is no ZIG to talk about. You go to Manicaland, there is no ZIG to talk about. You find the Meticage from Mozambique, you find the rand, you find US dollar. Those are the dominating currencies. So you look on the southern corridor, going to the west, it's one thing. There is no Zim dollar to talk about. ZIG is not working right there. So the only places you can use ZIG is when you have ZIG in your EcoCash or in your bank account. You go and swipe in major retails. If you go to other shops, even if they have swipe, they won't accept ZIG. That is a fact. Then look at how many people are employed in your nation. Right now, ZANU PF has been exposed so much. We will talk about that. Look at the border. thousands and thousands and thousands are piling up to go into South Africa. They are going back to work. They came in December, they are going back now. And there is chaos all over. You look at the BMS from South Africa, they are now using drones to try and capture people who are flooding into South Africa illegally through the Limpopo River. People who are using boats to cross into South Africa through the Limpopo River. Imagine how dangerous it is, but people are still going through. That is an indicator that the economy is not performing. There is a lot of informalization. You go around Harare, the informal trade is topping. So you ask yourself questions, where are we going as a nation? Look at the most prominent people. They don't give you a check. They don't give you a bank transaction. They don't deposit money in your bank account. They give you cash, 50,000, 5,000, 20,000, 150,000, 200,000 in cash, which is a sign of informalization, which means the banking sector, the banking system is not working. You just have $20, which is torn. All the needed numbers, everything is there, the marks, whatever. But if it is torn, you can't use it. If it is inked, you can't use it. Why? It's because the banking sector is no longer functional as it is supposed to be. So there is a deliberate collapse of public services. You look at health, you look at water, you look at electricity, you look at waste collection, you look at the drainage system. Nothing is working. You look at the roads. So the economy, the economic performance is the biggest determinant to tell if ZANU PF is going to survive in the next few years. It won't, because you are looking at the implications of economic failure. Go to the areas where ZANU PF has been winning, the rural areas. There is now limited support for Rigananda and the Mafide dynasty. Loyalty is being eroded. Patronage is now order of the day, and it's no longer unsustainable. Youth disengagement, it has been turned into quiet resistance and mass immigration. They are looking at people, the way they are moving from left to right, from the northern corridor to the southern corridor. You look at the number of buses which are now going to South Africa, which are now involved in the cross-border business. It's not a lucrative business, the cross-border business, because I was listening to some news. Kuti queue Mubhazi was around nearly more than 10 kilometers. So if the buses and cars going to South Africa are queuing for 10 to 16 kilometers, where are you going as a nation when you are like that? There is no Malawian who is coming to say, I'm going to Zimbabwe to look for a job. No Mozambican, no Zambian, no South African, except for high-paying jobs, formal jobs, top jobs. These ordinary jobs which our people are going to South Africa to look for, you don't get them in Zimbabwe, don't find them in Zimbabwe. So let us look at the second factor, the security sector. Are they going to be loyal continuously? Looking at what is happening, they've put in place short-term survival mechanism where they are paying the big wigs within the security structures, where they are giving cars. A car does have a lifespan, especially if it is not well serviced. It won't live long. So they've put short-term mechanisms, and they're not even long-term. They're not even catering for junior soldiers. They're not even catering for the middle soldiers. What it means is they are creating more chaos for themselves. They are creating a gap where those who give orders are living large for a short while, while those given orders They are in abject poverty. They can't afford. So you will see that this is going to be something which is very, very different, because the comrades are dying on daily basis. You go to the National Heroes Acre, my comrades are kuwanda. Kune vamwe vari kutofa vasiri kuenda kuNational Heroes Acre, vamwe vari kuitwa maprovincial hero, vamwe vari kuitwa madistrict hero. Comrades are kuenda. What it means is those who are loyal to the system, those who are loyal to ZANU PF, vari kufa vachipera one by one, and some of them, they are no longer trusted and they are being removed from active duty. What it means is you are bringing in new people with a new ideology and a new philosophy, who are going to say at a certain point in time, enough is enough. We have to uphold the constitution. So you will see that the factionalism which is happening within ZANU PF, it's causing a lot of cracks within the security sector. What it means is, conclusively, there is no loyalty to talk about in the medium term or in the long run. So you look at the succession politics as another determinant of the survival of ZANU PF. Kuri kutukirwa General Chiwenga nevanhu vavo, vari kutukirwa nani nezvigananda, those who are eating, those who are benefiting, the beneficiaries of the patronage and corruption. What it means is you are going to see the elite fighting, jostling for survival, and we will go back to history. What happened in the past might happen in the future. So the 2030 succession agenda, it's divisive because it is based on attacking others who disagree with the 2030. So what is going to happen is you will see the securocrats, the bureaucrats, the business people, they're going to be divided. And whosoever is going to have the much needed support and the much needed backing and power will win. There is a lot of resentment which is happening within ZANU PF. That is the reason why they have to force, that is the reason why they have to chase others for survival. Okay. One of the key determinants is the capacity of the opposition. Right now, the opposition is incapacitated. They cannot push too far because there is no clear structure. But once President Nelson Chamisa announces and he puts together the structures which he is building right now, which are now around 95% complete across Zimbabwe. The moment he announces the new direction, he announces the structures, he announces the direction, what it means is everybody who is disgruntled and is within ZANU PF will cross over. And imagine a situation where 50% of the people who once supported ZANU PF in the rural areas, imagine a situation where they cross over, even 35% of those people, if they cross over to the opposition and they join the new structures, imagine what is going to happen in the next 6 or so months. By the end of 2026, you will see a more formidable force from the opposition because they are now angry. Everybody is angry. So the opposition does not need to have an outright win right now. They simply need to make sure that they put an effort against ZANU PF. When we are talking about outright win, we are talking about pre-election politics. You don't need to be on the top. You just need to be on average. And then let ZANU PF do the rest. It will happen. So you're looking at the region. We'll see Ramaphosa survive. There is a lot of infighting which is happening within the ANC because Fikile want to be the leader and the deputy president of South Africa also want to be the leader. And when we are looking at this, ANC is going to be deeply divided. And the vice president of South Africa is likely forming an alliance with the vice president of Zimbabwe. So what it means is you are going to see lack of coherence within the region itself, because without South Africa, other countries won't be able to back ZANU PF enough. So what is going to happen is a push from ZANU PF faction B and a push from the opposition will put SADC in a corner, and SADC will always prioritize the stability over democracy or anything else. So if we are able to choke Mafidi dynasty, what it means is SADC will eventually work with whoever is powerful and whoever is going to bring the much needed stability. So further economic collapse in Zimbabwe will mean chaos for South Africa. Right now, they are having discussions about the number of people who are getting into South Africa. I'm going to give you context of this. During Christmas, Eskom recorded surplus, which means there was minimal load shedding in South Africa. Okay. So this is a clear indication that South Africans alone, they cannot consume power generated in South Africa. It's good enough for them, and they can even have surplus to sell. But when foreigners are there, they create a lot of pressure on basics, electricity, water, health, and all other things, jobs and so forth. What it means is you are going to see South Africans pushing more for the exit of foreigners, or South Africa will not want to add more so that they continue to have minimal problems. So what it means is there is going to be a lot of pressure. Anybody who wants to succeed Cyril Ramaphosa is going to use that as a template to say, we are going to be anti-foreigners. We are going to prioritize South Africans. That will be the message. And that person is going to be popular. So you look at the demographics. The majority of the people in Zimbabwe right now demanding change are young people. So if given a chance that young people are all in Zimbabwe and they vote, or they make a decision to say, we are taking into the streets, we are going into the streets to demand accountability, to make sure that we protest and this government, we force this government to be accountable, you'll see results. So the issue of saying ideology, that is collapsing. People are becoming fearless. And also, other countries within Africa, the more they get liberated, the more Zimbabweans get ideas, the more the SADC region will say, okay, so we need to do A, B, C, decide that we win. So to me, this program of ZANU PF for politics in Mubhazi is not going to change anything, because the politics in Mubhazi, the key determinant is how the economy is working. Munhu apedza politics in Mubhazi achienda kumba kwake, anonodyei, anobhadhara fees nei, anoenda kuchipatara nei. So achashanda kupi? Those are key determinants of the future. And will ZANU PF survive? In my own view, I do not see ZANU PF surviving. I am seeing a dangerous trend already in Zimbabwe, and the consequences will be too hard to be